All right.
Like.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Episode 28 of An Eternity of Basketball is upon us, and we are so pumped for this episode. But before we begin, pasa muna natin kay Attorney Charlie Cuna at meron na pabibigyan lang tayong isang mensahe galing sa isa nating former guest. Charlie, go ahead.
Just last week, we had as our guest here, Mr. Emer Legaspi. No? Napaka-humble, napaka-soft-spoken ng ating guest. Ang bait-bait. And a great interview as well. Although there's a statement that he said during his interview that he feels may have offended certain people. So dahil dyan, meron siyang apology pinadala. No? So I'll just read it on behalf of Emer Legaspi. He says, I apologize dahil nasabi ko na yung ibang retired players ay naghirap. Yung iba naging tricycle driver, jeepney driver, kargador. Afterwards, nabigla ako naisip ko lang after the interview na parang baka insulto yung ginawa ko dahil kahit yun ang naging kapalaran ng ibang mga players, marangal naman ang kanilang hanap buhay. I really want to apologize to them dahil hindi naman ako matapobre. Natutuwa lang ako dahil pinalad ako na mapasok sa PAGCOR. He did very well for 30-something years in PAGCOR as he told us last episode. So sorry po sa nasaktan. So if anybody got offended dun sa statements niya, he apologizes. And of course, you know, with a guy as humble and as nice as Emer Legaspi, I think we can give him the benefit of the doubt that there was no offense meant. So Sir Emer, nabasa na po namin yung mensahe ninyo, and of course, that's a point well taken. Thank you.
And of course, Mr. Emer Legaspi, if you're watching right now, yung isang kakampi mo, ang ating guest ngayon, the second installment of our Toyota Grand Slam, a man who needs no introduction. In fact, in the poster na ginawa natin, nakalagay lang doon, di ba? One of the greatest Filipino cagers of all time. Mamaya-maya, malalaman po natin yung biyahe. At actually, sisimulan na natin ngayon ang biyahe ni El Presidente, the franchise, the money man. At I'm so pumped for this episode, and I'm sure everybody else is. My name is Noel with Sid Ventura and Charlie Cuna. Episode number 28 of An Eternity of Basketball, featuring no less than Don Ramon Fernandez. Yes, sir. Don Ramon, maraming salamat sa inyong pagtanggap ng aming imbitasyon. Kamusta na kayo?
Thank you, Noel, Sid, and Charlie. Magandang hapon sa inyo. At to all those who's following this episode, wherever you are, sana nasa mabuting kalagayan and healthy kayo. And stay safe as always. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. O maying gabi, maying hapon kaninyong tanan.
Yan naman. Sa ating mga friends, of course, from Cebu. At nakikita ka natin sa background dyan, Don Ramon, parang tuwan-tuwa yata kayo dyan sa picture sa likuran. Malaki yata yung nahuli nyo yan, ha?
Nakatsamba.
Okay. Pero hindi po naging tsamba ang isang karir ng isang Ramon Fernandez. So Don Ramon, balikan natin kaagad mula dun sa kabataan nyo pa, nung bata pa kayo sa Leyte. Kailan kayo nagsimula maglaro ng basketball at kailan nyo nahiligan itong sport na ito?
As far as way back I can remember, Noel, since I was 5 years old, I suppose, no? I had a brother who was 2 years older than me. Kami ang naiwan doon sa Leyte last because we were 9 in the family, 6 boys and 3 girls, no? So kami ang youngest, 2 lalaki, 2 years age difference namin. So kami, lahat ng mga brothers and sisters ko, kasi older sisters and brothers, pagdating ng high school, they all go down to Cebu to continue with their studies from high school no? So kami lang, there was a time na 2 lang kaming naiwan talaga doon at that time, no? So siya ang lagi kong kalaro, no? And of course, meron ding kaming in-idolize yung 2 older brothers namin who used to play for the Cebu College League also, and one in fact went on to play for UE and Meralco in the mid-60s, no? So ever since I was 5, Noel, I can remember we were already playing sa Maasin. Our house there was just beside the high school, the school. school run by nuns, mga madre. So there was a basketball court there. Lalo na pagka-summer, doon, halos araw-araw practically naglalaro kami when we were growing up.
Were you already one of the taller ones in your family at the time o mas malalaki sa'yo yung mga kuya mo, Don Ramon?
Of course, they were bigger than me, but doon sa older brother ko na 2 years older than me, there were times na siyempre mas matangkad siya ng konti sa akin, but pagdating ng mga 7, 8, 9 years old, nahahabol ko na siya. But kumpara sa mga ka-age ko, na mga contemporaries ko doon na ka-age ko, I was much taller than them, no? So malaki ang agwat kumpara doon sa mga playmates ko sa amin sa Maasin, no?
Mon, ang tanong ko naman, dati pa, bata ka pa lang ba, center na yung laro mo? Kasi as everybody knows, for a big man, you had very good dribbling skills, no? When you were playing. So did you play guard ba muna or did you play center right away?
Well, in my growing years, wala namang sa mga larong barangay, wala naman yung guard, forward, usually mga ganyan, ano? Kung sino yung magaling magdala ng bola, sino yung makakuha ng rebound, dalhin mo na yung bola. I mean, there were of course positions, no, but hindi naman because I guess na-develop yun when I went to the seminary, first year high school in the Sacred Hearts Seminary in Lawaan, Talisay, Cebu. I had 2 years of first 2 years of high school there. We had a team, our midget team. I was just reminded recently sa isang classmate ko, the only classmate namin doon sa batch namin na naging pare, si Father Ben Alforque. He's based in Camotes Island now, no? So he just reminded me in one of the posts that when we were midgets, when we had our midget team in the seminary, we never lost a game against the midget teams from among the seminaries around Cebu, no? So, and he also said, that in my second year high school, we still had a midget team, but yung college team namin sa seminary, kinuha nila ako to be part of the varsity sa college team in my second year high school. So naturally, I played point guard in the team, no? So I guess that's where it started, no? And yeah, that's where it started. So I'm practically at ease bringing the ball down the court, no?
Kailan kayo nagkaroon ng growth spurt? Alam natin yan, Don Ramon, pag bata tayo, di ba, maliit tayo, one day you're 5'11", and then a few days later, you're 6'2", 6'3" na kaagad. So at what age did you have that growth spurt? At saka, nung nakita mo, uy, matangkad ako, baka pwede na akong maging mas focus sa basketball.
Yeah. I graduated from high school, I think I was 15 or 16. Nag-grade 1 ako sa probinsya, 5 years old ako eh. Kasi nung pinasyal ako ng nanay ko doon sa isang school by the shoreline, umabot na yung height ko doon sa guhit nila sa pintuan eh. Sabi ng teacher sa mami ko, "Oy, pwede na mag-grade 1 yung anak nung abot na yung height."
sa height.
I was going on 6 when I entered grade 1, so I graduated mga 11 years old high school, no? So, what was your question? Ano?
Yung growth spurt.
Yung growth spurt kasi, hindi naman biglaan na nangyayari yan, di ba?
So when I graduated in high school, I was, I think, about 16, no, going 16 or going 17, 16, I think. When I was in high school, I was only about 5'10", no? So when I went to college, when I enrolled at the college sa University of San Carlos in college, nakita ko nung isang priest na kaibigan ko na si Father, I can't forget his name, si Father Kemerel, who was the rector sa seminary sa Boys High School, University of San Carlos Boys High School. Nung nakita niya ako na nag-i-enroll sa college, sabi niya, "Hey, Ronaldo!" Because that's the name of my older brother, who was also his student at the University of San Carlos. Sabi niya, "Hey, Ronaldo, you better go see a doctor. You've grown so much." So I said, "No, Father, I'm Ramon." I said, "Oh, the more you should go see a doctor." Because when I enrolled in college, I was already 6'2". Practically about I grew 4 inches in just one summer. Summer of 70. So yun. Yun ang growth spurts ko, no? Sa 16 going 17, they're about 15, 16, 17.
Sa San Carlos, you studied in San Carlos, wala pang pumunta sa inyong mga taga Maynila na, o hindi ba umabot yung pangalan ni Mon Fernandez sa Maynila na, uy, may magaling na player dun sa Cebu, ba't hindi natin i-recruit sa Maynila?
Hindi. First year college, on my second year college rather, school year, never mind, basta second year college, going in second year college, we qualified for the National Intercollegiate because at that year, 1971, the University of the Visayas and Southwestern University, they won champion and runner-ups in National Intercollegiate. So they were shoe-in already. They didn't have to go to the zoning sa Visayas namin. So that year, since they were the defending champion and runner-up, there was another team, San Carlos and the San Jose Recoletos, that qualified to join the National Intercollegiate in, I think, 1971. No? So that's where I first came to Manila to play in the National Intercollegiate. And it so happened that our coach then was the brother-in-law of Coach Lauro Mumar. He was coaching Meralco then.
Yeah.
No? So we had a practice game against the Meralco Ready Kilowatts. We played a practice game against them at the Meralco gym at the time. No? So right after my brother was already working for Meralco then. My brother, who played for UE and Meralco, he joined Meralco, I think, 1967. But he continued to work there until he retired several years ago now. So he knew, of course, the people in the team that ran the team in Meralco. So one of the bosses there, Mr. Noel Ledesma, a guy from Bacolod, saw me play, and they recruited me to be part of their farm team. Kinuha nila ako sa farm team nila. Habang I was in Cebu, nasa farm team na nila ako. No? But alam niyo yung nangyari na na-suspend sila Sonny Jaworski and si Big Boy Reynoso. Di ba? Na-ban sila for life for some time because of that referee thing na well, nakaaway nila in court. So, disband ang Meralco. So, nawalan din ako ng connection sa Meralco, sa farm team. No? But timing naman, in the summer of 1972, nagpunta ng Cebu yung San Miguel Braids, coached by the late Ning Ramos. No? Mga players nila, mostly from Cebu naman, from Southwestern and UV, sila Panel, sila Miego, sila Martires, Velasco, those guys, no? With Nonong Belmonte and the other guys, sila Castelo. So they went to Cebu, and we played exhibition game against them, the San Carlos gym, no? And I was part of the Cebu selection already then, so we played against them. So right after the game, Ning Ramos pulled me to the side we had dinner, and recruited me for San Sebastian and San Miguel, of course. No? He was coaching San Sebastian Stags at the time. No? The team nila, Dave Supnet, Norby Rivera, Jimmy Otaso, Boy Mora, and the other guys, I can't remember their name. No? So that was my third year. My third year college, dapat nag-residence ako sa San Sebastian. No? And farm team ng San Miguel, and I was having my residency for San Sebastian. No? So timing naman, on the second semester of that school year, nire-recruit naman ako ng LaSalle because my former teammates from Cebu joined LaSalle. Sila Dennis Mendoza and a few other Cebuanos were in the LaSalle team at the time. No? So I enrolled in LaSalle the second semester, but unfortunately, hindi ko makuha yung release ng papers ko from the Department of Education at the time. Mukhang mas malakas yung Baste kaysa LaSalle sa DepEd. So, hindi ko makuha yung release ko. So I just played a game or two for the LaSalle sa exhibition games. The second semester of 72-73 school year. But again, pagdating ng December of 1972. But before that pa pala, naipasok ako nila Mr. Noel and some BAP people sa youth team.
Yes.
Sa 1972 youth team. So nakalaro kami nila Ompong Sigora, nila Atoy, nila Philip, Carbajal, Noblisada, Franco, Junicio, and those other guys. No? So I played for the 1972 youth team, ABC youth team 1972. And tamang-tama naman, by December of that year, nagtayo naman yung Toyota ng team na. So I got recruited by Toyota. So nagpaalam ako sa San Miguel. Sabi nila, sige Mon, at that time kasi San Miguel really wasn't spending as much as now, of course, no, understandably, sa basketball program nila that time, no. So sabi ni Coach Ning Rameo sa akin, sige Mon, lumipat ka na lang. Hindi namin kaya ibigay yung binigay ng Toyota sa iyo, no? Pero ang ni-request lang niya was that I play for San Miguel for the national seniors of January 1973, the national seniors, that I play for them. Pero doon ako nakatira sa quarters ng Toyota sa San Lorenzo, no? He just asked me, pumayag naman ang Toyota dahil ang start kasi ng basketball season noon was the Mika. And the last tournament for the season was the national seniors. So after the national seniors, which is January of every year, after that, pwede na lumipat ang mga players ng ibang team. So yun ang ni-request ni Ramos that I play for San Miguel because at that time, the national seniors allows college players as guest players for the Mika teams. So tatlo kami nung naglaro, si Jimmy Otaso and Norby Rivera and I played for San Miguel, which fortunately nag-champion naman kami noon. Toyota already played in that tournament, but Komatsu pa sila. They played as Komatsu Comets. So after that tournament, nag-champion kami noon. That was the time I moved over to Toyota na 73. That's how it all started.
Before your Toyota story, syempre yung national team, pag-usapan pa natin ng konti. We could see that the Cebu, well, the Visayas fertile ground talaga yan for basketball talent even back then, no? Ang dami talaga magagaling. We had Willie Generalao telling us about it, si Yoyong Martires, Manny Paner of course was there as well. Di pa namin nag-guest pero mag-guest na rin yun sa amin soon. But they were telling us na that the talent was slowly flocking to Manila to play for the Mikaa and for some of the schools here. But then you got to play with some of these stars, no? In their own right, mga stars sila in those national teams. What kind of experience was that? I understand 72 and 73 were both played here in Manila, di ba?
That's correct.
Diba? So
That's
hindi kayo bumiyahe nun. So you didn't have the chance to bond with them on the plane, in the hotels or whatever. But how was that experience for those two tournaments, playing with all these other great talents? Some of them hindi mo pa nakakalaro dati.
That's correct. Well, of course, in the beginning, nakakapanibago definitely. But if you have a competitive spirit, Charlie, lalaban ka no? Ang daming ang biruan noon during the tryouts ng youth team noon, yung itatrasto ka, tatakutin ka, yung the usual P word natin, di ba? Bisaya ka, layo pa ng uuwian mo, ha? Eh, siyempre, pag titiklop ka daw, walang mangyari sa'yo. So, sasagutin ko naman. Oh, sabi ko, mas malayo ka pa. Uuwi ka sa Pakistan pa, sa India pa. Things like that, mga kansawan. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. You learn a lot. Bata ka naman, 18 years old, 17, 18 years old. So, hindi ka pwedeng ano bang tawag sa Tagalog doon?
Brusko.
Hindi ka pwedeng magpasindak.
Ayun.
Oo. Kaya tumanda tayo sa sindakan.
Ganun yung style, no?
Trash talking and all of that. No, we eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No? So it was okay. And then finally, 73, I was able to make it naman sa men's team.
Yun.
Because in 1972, we represented the youth team.
Yeah, tama.
And may Munich Olympics noon 72 So hindi pa ako nakapasok sa regular men's team at the time. But I remember very clearly the last fundraising game na ginawa ng BAP noon. They pitted us, the youth team and the men's team. We played at the Loyola Heights sa Ateneo noon. And we almost beat them. Pwede namin talunin yun. Medyo ayaw lang mapahiya ni Lito Puyat, kaya medyo anong ginawa niya doon sa mga referee? Huwag yung pamura niyan, patay ka lang. Mga kwentuhan na, sidelines. No? Now it can be told. No? But we had a very pretty strong ABC team kasi sila Philip Cesar, Carbajal, atoy ko, Noblisada, Diputado, Norby Rivera, Pompong Segura, Joey Junicio, Ray Franco, Mike Bilbao, I think was there, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so yun. So I was glad that the following year, 73, I also made it to the national team, to the regular men's team, where we also won the ABC at the Rizal Memorial Coliseo.
I think this is the right time to ask this. Sorry, Sid. Singit ko lang tong tanong na to. How good was Ed Carbajal?
He was already good also at the time. He was much taller than me, 6'6". Not that I belittle his ability, but he was not as quick, perhaps, as a Junmar Fajardo or a Capit Aguilar. He was a little bit slow, more on the slower side. No? If you compare it, Junmar Fajardo and maybe Slaughter, without with no pun intended, no, he was a bit slower than the rest of us, no. But he was okay. He was a force to reckon with also.
Kasi baka
He was
di alam
good.
ng iba, si Ed Carvajal, his career was ended early, no? Dahil na-aksidente siya and he got injured, no? He wasn't able to.
It wasn't because of an accident, I think, Charlie. It was more of genetics, I think.
Okay.
He had some brain tumor, I think. Ang chismis nga noon is na nauntog daw sa Rizal Memorial kasi di ba ang baba nung
Oo, narinig ko
Rizal
yun.
Memorial.
Nauntog daw sa ring.
Maybe
Sa board.
nauntog siya, but hindi naman daw, we found out from his family later on na hindi naman daw yun ang cause talaga.
Sid, go ahead.
Yeah, doon naman, can we talk about that 1973 men's national team for a while? Kasi sobrang star-studded noon. Ano, you had, aside from yourself, there was Abet Kitaben, Box Adornado, Sonny Jaworski, Francis Arnaiz. Ang daming, Jimmy Mariano, ang daming
Big Boy Reynoso.
Big Boy Reynoso, no? And then you went on and you beat one of the most fabled South Korean teams din, which was led naman by Shindong Pa, no? Could you talk more lang about that team and how it felt to beat your great rivals at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum?
Puno yun.
Well, definitely it was a very big advantage for us na nasa home crowd tayo, nasa home court tayo, no? The crowd was for us. That definitely plays a big part also, of course, no? But as you mentioned, there were everybody there. My teammates were all stars on their own right, no? They were the cream of the crop, as they say, no? So we had a lot more time to gel with each other, to bond with each other. We stayed in one place. We were quartered in places several months before the tournament. So we really had the time to gel and to develop the teamwork that we wanted to. So
were you the youngest, ba? Sorry, were you the youngest on the team or one of the youngest?
Yeah, I was the youngest in the team that time. So I just turned 18, going 19 that year.
So how was Shindong Pa as an opponent?
Ganun ba talaga kagaling yun, yung Shindong Pa, sa mga nakapanood?
Actually, doon ko lang siya napanood, doon ko lang siya nakita maglaro, no? Because in fact, that was his last year in the national team. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know how old he was when he retired from the game, but he was at his best in the 65, 67, 69, mga ganong years, no? That was his last national team that year, 1973. But he was still good. He's a sharp shooter, no? Siya yung una nating naririnig na who takes 300, 400 shots a day, practices 400, 300 shots a day, no? I don't know how true it was, but he was really a good shooter.
Nakadepensa lang daw sa kanya doon si Edo Campo eh.
Because magaling na gwardiya naman talaga si Edo Campo. He was a soccer player and a basketball player, so he's fast, he's quick, so he can stay with this man all throughout, no? At that time naman, panahon namin, I think, if I remember right, si Dave Vigoliano was one of them that was assigned to guard him also. So, mukhang mas matangkad si Dave yata or alos ng konti sa kanya. So, that could have been a factor also, no? But he was still sharp at the time.
So, bago natin puntahan yung PBA days ni Don Ramon, because we will transition to that now. May questions ba kayo before we show the pictures that we've collated over the career?
Well, pwede naman. We can already show the photos, go through them already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
the memories.
Memories.
In the meantime, habang piniprepare mo yan, si Emer Legaspi, nanonood ngayon, sabi niya, nanonood daw siya when you played in the ABC team in 1973. Nasa stands daw siya. Kasama ng mami niya, Tito Mon. Sabi ni Emer Legaspi.
Yan, pagka sinabi ni Emer, maniwala ka, napakabait na teammate ko yan, si Emer Legaspi, no?
May makikita rin tayong mga teammates dito sa mga pictures na nahalukay natin. Pati na rin yung rivalry na naganap. Nagsimula yan sa Mika, the Crispa Toyota rivalry, and carried over to the PBA. We're gonna have some pictures also about yung laban nyo nila Abit Gitaben, yung laban nyo nila Princess. Ang dami pa natin kailangang i-cover na ground, Sid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to link it. He's trying to link it.
Hindi ko pa pala na-open sorry
Okay lang yan, di ba?
Okay.
So yung
Hindi, baka may questions yung ano.
ang i-add lang natin yung 1973 national team nga. We went on to play in the 1974 World Basketball Championships in Puerto Rico. Because nung nag-champion kami sa 1973, the team nawala ako yata.
Yan yung pictures.
Okay.
This is the team. This is the 73 team.
73.
Yeah. That's the 90s. We went to Puerto Rico because nung nag-champion kami niyan sa ABC sa Manila, the team was kept intact the whole year of 1974 to prepare for Puerto Rico. No? So this is in relation to the start, the birth of the PBA din kasi. No?
Yeah.
Because that year, 73, mula nung nag-champion kami until Puerto Rico, hindi kami pinaglaro ng BAP sa mother teams namin kami sa Toyota, 4 kami Ako, si Francis, si Sunny, at saka si Big Boy. Sa Crispa was Abit Gidaben and Bogs Adornado. So, si Manny sa San Miguel, si Manny Paner and Yoyong Martires. So, doon medyo nagka-asara ng konti yung mga team owners and the BAP because ano nga naman na ang tsansa ng Toyota winning championship sa Mika? 4 kaming wala doon, no? And San Miguel wala. So doon nag-start yung usapan na magtayo na lang tayo ng professional league para hindi tayo pakialaman na ng BAP.
Right.
Well, that's how it started really, you know.
Wow, interesting.
You see in the photo, ayan yung mga members ng 1973-74 team.
Yeah. This is Yoyo.
Joe Wong. That's Joe Wong. He was part of the De La Salle team. Right-hand man ni Coach Tito Iduque yan. Joe, ito of course, sa likod niya si Juan Cotillas. No?
Juan Cotillas, trainer.
You should have invited him to watch.
Hindi natin naisip.
Okay. Let's just run through the front row. Okay, after si Joe Wong, this is Yoyong.
Yeah.
And
Sunny. Francis, Joy Piofas.
Bogs.
Bogs.
Bogs Adornado.
And then Manny Panel.
Manny Panel.
And the gentleman is?
Melchor Legaspi. Parang sa part ng Toyota team liaison officer namin sa Toyota team noon
Okay.
Coach Tito.
Coach Tito.
And
Coach Dante, no?
Si Dante. Oh yeah, that's Dante. Kasama siya sa coaching staff?
No, he was the team manager.
Oh, okay, manager.
Okay.
Tembong.
Jimmy Mariano.
Yeah.
Abet.
Then this is you.
Dave Reguliano. Big Boy. And then Coach Caloy.
May nag-post sa Facebook na si Dave Reguliano raw pinabantay kay Shing Dong pa. Tapos tinanong siya after the game, how did you stop him? Sabi niya, I put my foot between his foot. Yan ang sagot daw ni Dave Reguliano. I put my foot between his foot.
Sige. I'll go to the next photo. Well, tumalo na ako agad sa PBA.
This is the
Wala akong
greatest
makita.
starting five that the PBA ever had. Okay, so
I want to say, get no argument from
maraming ko kontra sa akin ngayon. Kasi akala nila yung mga ngayon pwede. Pero itong 5, that's the greatest starting five the PBA ever had. Para sa akin.
Especially noong 1982, 3 dyan, nag-mythical.
Okay, baka hindi niyo alam, yung mga nanonood, that's Don Ramon, but the one before him is Abby King. Arnie Tuates,
And
the
then,
late Arnie Tuates,
Francis.
the backcourt, di ba?
Yeah, Sonny Jaworski.
Lalaban ko yan.
1982.
Lalaban ko yan kahit sang starting five.
Oh, pero yung mga taga-Crispa, sabihin nila yung kanila rin naman.
Okay, ganun lang naman. Ganun naman ang basketball, di ba? Labanan talaga.
Anong pag nakikita niyan, Don Ramon, yung limang yan, how lethal was this five? Especially pag all Filipino, syempre. Pero yung limang yan, grabe yung, yung chemistry ng limang yan on the court.
Yes, I believe that that could be our strongest five at that time. What year was this?
82.
82?
Yeah, I think
Or
82 or
earlier.
baka earlier. I think
Baka
earlier.
81 yung jacket nyo, 81. Pero 82 yung sumikat. Pero tama, 81 nga ito. Si jacket nyo ganun, 81 yan.
That must probably been earlier. Because Arnie and Abby King, Arnie joined us,
79.
79.
78 or 79?
79. He was Rookie of the Year. 79.
Probably this could be 1980 siguro. I wouldn't remember though. 80, but definitely not before 80. Yeah. Andiyan na si Abby at si Arnie.
Oh. Gano'ng kalupit yan, yung limang yan? Pag nakikita kasi ng tao, papasok na nila yung lima ng Toyota, yan limang yan talaga para sure win. Agad. At their best, sure win yan.
Ang hirap na tanong yan, Noel eh. I have to dig deeper in my...
Dahil ganito na lang noon naman. Ito ba? Ito o yung Crispa starting five?
Naman.
Palagay ko, parehas lang.
Match na match, no? Match na
Alam mo, sa tingin ko ito mas malakas to, no? Kaysa any Crispa 5. Ang Crispa lang kasi doon sa galing mag-scout ni dalupan ng players, mas deeper talaga ang bench nila eh.
Mm-hmm.
Yun ang biggest advantage nila eh. Mas deeper yung bench nila eh. But
I think
strength is what you call it. Pare-pareho lang, hindi magkakalayo, no?
Pero
But
yung five kasi na to,
lineup,
yeah, lakas talaga doon. Ramon, I was thinking, perfect kasi because you're really a center and then you have Abby who's really a power forward.
Yes.
You have one of the best small forwards and then you have a shooting guard like Francis Arnaiz and then a point guard like Joe. Parang sakto sa mga positions lang. Pasok na.
correct.
Tapos yung toughness pa nung Arnie at saka nung Abby King, pag nandiyan pati sa depensa, walang tapon yan eh. Yung limang yan eh.
Lalo na si Abby King, when you talk of defense, magaling din talaga dumifensa si Abby.
Right. And the guys on the feed are saying that was a 1980 picture. Ito, isa pa to.
Yeah,
Yung puro
80.
Tatlong
Crispa kalaban, no?
Yeah.
quiz pa yan. Sino ba yung dinaanan? Atoy ko, Pabiosa, sining tumalun isa? Cesar ba yan?
Hindi ko
Mukhang si Jimmy Javier yan ah.
Oh,
Jimmy
mukhang
yan.
Javier nga. Dadong sa Javier. Hindi
Yung buhok,
hindi
Jimmy
number
Javier.
ni...
What was it like going against Crispa, Don Ramon? Probably the greatest rivalry in Philippine sports, ano?
Well, yun naman, the same thing with them, no? Pwede kayong matalo sa ibang team, huwag lang sa Crispa. Sila din, pwede matalo sa ibang team, huwag lang sa Toyota, no? I guess it all started because of the one big factor kasi doon, guys, was the what do you call this? Yung team owners, yung involvement ng team owners sa teams, no? Sila mismo yung mga team owners like Danny Floro, Dante Silverio, De Silverio, Walter Yuyang, sila Doming Etchon, and the Elizaldes, and the Cusitengs, and the Sorianos were a bit there, and all the others, no? Mga team owners talaga ang nandoon. Unlike now na pinauubaya na sa team owners sa mga executives ng companies nila, no?
Correct. Agree.
So yung loyalty namin to the team na nadadala din doon sa mga fans, no? So yung mga fans, ang loyalty nila buong buo talaga. No? So that made a big difference.
Tinanong ko na rin ito, Don Ramon, sa mga iba nating guest na Crispa in Toyota. Did you genuinely dislike Crispa when you were playing for Toyota? Pag nakikita mo, pagkalaban yung Crispa, eto na naman sila. Ganun talaga may konti bang galit pag Crispa Toyota na yung ano? Or was it just all media hype?
Hindi, ano yun, personalan yun, Noel. No?
Okay.
Ano mo kay Atoy ko? Nasuntok pa ako niya ni Atoy ko eh. Tama ako sa mukha niya nung rumble namin sa what you call this, sa Araneta eh, no? Talagang, ano, kasi maski na magkita kami noon sa mga bars and all that, para bang yung manok, di ba? Yung dalawang manok, ano ba tawag sa Tagalog no, na pag nagsabong mong ganyan, hindi mo na maglalaban sa umpisa, magigirian mo ng ganyan.
Ano talaga?
Girian mo na pag nagkita sa mga bars or disco, tawag ng
disco. Kwento ni Francis Arnaiz, pag pupunta daw sila sa isang lugar, may mga taga-Crispa doon, nag-aalisan daw sila.
They don't want to be in the same place.
May kanya-kanya kaming places to go to at the time eh. So, we don't really, even in the cars, no? Sa karamihan, siyempre, Toyota yung mga auto namin. Sila mostly Mitsubishi Galant o kaya Celeste. So, even sa galing kaming Rizal Memorial Coliseum, pagkatapos ng game, pagpa-uwi, South Superhighway ang daan, hindi ba? Ano yun? Karera yung...
Karera.
Wow.
Okay.
Hanggang doon. So,
medyo nagkakatinginan pa na gano'n, pasahid na gano'n. Hindi ayos on the road, ha?
Teka, Yamato yata Toyota sa gano'n, di ba? Stacker pa lang na Toyota, Yamato na yata eh. Pero talagang gano'n. Kinikwento ka ni Francis Arnaiz yung araw na dinampot daw kayo lahat ng Metrocom dahil dun sa rumble nyo. Tapos kinulong nga kayong lahat dun sa one night yata sa Krami yata kayo kinulong nun. I mean, was that the height of the rivalry?
Fort Bonifacio.
Fort Bonifacio, yes. Was that the height of the rivalry or ano talagang was there more pa to that story?
That was still at the height of the rivalry. I think that was about 77, 76, 77. 77, thereabout. So nilagay kami sa isang siguro mga 20-30 square meter room doon sa Navy. Sa Navy compound sa Fort Bonifacio, that area. Ayun, pinasok kami doon hanggang pinaabot lang naman kami ng na hanggang mga alas 3 siguro yun, alas 4. No? So pagdating doon, siyempre, una silang nakarating eh. Ang mali nila, doon sila umi-standby sa malapit sa banyo. Kami far from the bathroom. Kaya pagdating ng mga alas 9, alas 10, ang baho na nung banyo nandun. Sa gilid na lahat. Pero after a while, mukhang nagkakwentuhan, nagkakadsawa naman. Kasi alam niyo naman si Coach Sunny, napaka-pabiro din doon, maloko din si Coach Sunny. Siyempre, lahat naman kami, maloko sa mga kansawa, no? Tamang-tama yung unang bisita na dumating, I think wife ni Tito Varela. So pagdating ng wife, may dalaw dito. Tito Varela, asawa mo, nandito na. I think si Sunny ang sibigaw. Tito, yung wig mo, nandiyan na, dinala na. yung mga ganyan ba? So,
nag-aasaran talaga. There's a famous photo of you with the tape on your nose.
I have that. Right. Darating tayo dyan.
Sige.
Ang tanong ko lang kay Don Ramon, when we had Atoy ko as a guest, he was saying na there was a year daw that he and Freddy Hubalde approached Toyota about transferring kasi nag-expire na rin.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah. I didn't know about that.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I didn't
I'm
know.
gonna ask Sana if you guys had heard about that. So the team itself, the players, didn't never heard about that that possible move.
No, no.
Diretso sila kay
Me,
Mr.
as,
Pabling Carlos.
ako
nun, eh.
personally, I didn't hear.
Mm.
Pero what do you think would have happened? If you had added an a prime Atoy ko, a prime Freddy Hubalde to Toyota in
Hindi na-
1978.
Hindi na ganun ka ang PBA sana noon, masisira ang balance.
Mhm. That's what
That
they were
would
saying
be-
also.
That would be a disadvantage to the league.
So
Mhm.
super team na masyado.
Yeah.
Sa Katawali.
Okay, what's next?
So, yeah. Next is
Ito. This is
your great arch rival, Abid Kitabin.
Yeah.
You were touted as the two best big men at the time. And may mga iba doon pa isa-isa that they tried to challenge the two of you as the top big men. But for a long time, it was really the two of you. And of course, everyone knows you were traded for each other a couple of times. Can you tell us about that matchup with Abet? I mean, obviously it was physical, it was emotional, it was talent versus talent. But how did you personally feel about it? Were you intimidated by him, or is it a challenge to you, or feeling mo kaya mo siya? Ano bang mga nararamdaman mo noon?
Well, I guess pareho ang mentality namin. When you get into a game, isipin mo, kayang-kaya ko to. But of course, you have to prepare. You have to give that respect also to the opponent. If you do not give the respect to opponent mo, wala, talo ka. No? So you have to think, magaling siya, is better than you. Para ma-inspire ka, ma-motivate ka to beat him. No? But we played for such a long time that we know each other's game in, like a palm of our hand, no? So, and we've been playing 20 years, year in and year out. Kami lang magkakalaban kami lagi, no? So we knew each other game, no? May advantage siya sa akin, meron din akong advantage sa kanya.
Yun.
But that is better left to the basketball fans to argue about.
But what was the most impressive thing about him? Where was he really good? Saan ka parang ang galing ni Abet sa ganito? Ano yung magaling sa kanya?
He was a good defender also and a good rebounder. He had very decent medium shots from around the keyhole. Yung mga banda na tira din niya.
Banda.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good in several aspects also.
May nabasa ko dati, may isang fan na nagsabi na Kitabin is only half as good as Fernandez kasi yung number niya kalahati lang ni Fernandez.
Oo nga, no? 10 and 5, no?
10 and 5.
Bakit ka doon, Ramon? Ba't napili mo yung number 10 as your jersey number for most of your career until you transferred, of course, to Tanduay?
Yeah, I was also wondering for a while, but because when I played for San Carlos and Cebu, I just saw an old picture. I was number 6, no? So it was really my older brother who told me to choose number 10 because you know what? I saw also an old picture of mine playing for San Miguel Braids in the 1973 National Seniors. I was 19 pala na doon eh.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Nauna na pala
So,
yung 19.
but I chose number 10. Well, it was suggested to me by my older brother, you know, na kunin mo yung number 10. Sabi ko, bakit number 10? Yung number 10 represents number 1. Sabi ko, ganun ba? Pangit naman kung maglagay ka ng uniforme na number 1. Masyado ka namang, you know, very assuming naman. Ganun masyado. So, number 10 was okay. And so yun, I was able to get that. But I had that number sa Toyota when I started. But when I moved to Beerhausen, doon ako naging 19 ulit because when I joined Beerhausen, ba? No. Tanduay na pala.
Tanduay. Si Freddy kasi yung 10 eh.
Freddy yung 10 eh.
That's correct. See, nakakalimutan ko na tuloy yung iba. Inaalalahan.
Alam ko yun. First varsity number ko rin, 19. Dahil 19 ka na noon eh. 19 ang pinili ko.
When I moved to Tanduay, because Freddie had his number 10. So, yun.
Oh, how about
Ito na.
this one? Huh? And then
This
celebrate
one-
ba o inaawat nyo
no,
nyo ba si
this
Andy
one-
Fields?
This one was after Andy Fields hit the game winner in
The
your
game winner.
knockout game with
The
against
picture-
Crispa.
The picture
Yeah.
says that.
Yeah. Yung against Crispa yun. I can remember that he got a
What
foul
year
off
was
Larry
this?
Boss. 1980 Open Conference. I'll never
Okay.
forget that game. I was 9 years old nun. So
I still get to chat with Andy Fields. He's in Facebook. So nagme-message kami one time. I just wasn't able to chat with him lengthily though.
So yung number 1, no? Number
Yeah,
one
yeah.
siya.
number one dyan. Ano to?
Hindi siya nahihiyang mag-proclaim na I'm number 1.
How was he as an import? Batang-bata pa yan, Don Ramon, when he entered your team. He was a
25
fresh
yata.
graduate. I think he was like 21 or 22 when he first joined your team in 79.
That's
What
correct.
do you remember about him as a player and as a person?
No, he was a very decent person, very good, calm, hindi umiinit ng ulo, very good defensive and medium shot player, good rebounder, an asset to the team talaga. Kaya tamang-tama na timing, meron tayong San Andres Bukid, no? Kaya tawag sa kanya, no? Andres Bukid, Andy Fields, no?
Pero in complete opposite naman, yung Bruce Sky King naman, iba naman yun. Siya naman yung medyo wild na import.
Hindi, oy, mas mabait pa nga yun, mas
Yeah, I mean,
decent pa
on the
yun.
court, yung kumbaga, nakakatakot eh. Pag tinignan ka na ni Bruce Sky King, tapos dadakdakan ka na niya, nakakatakot na eh.
Sa looks lang yun. Sa looks lang yun, medyo mas lang konti yun kay ni Andy Fields. Meron siyang, yung pride niya mas pataas ng konti kaysa kay Andy Fields, no? But very, very decent guy also. Very formal guy and no nonsense guy.
ito, I'm not sure kung
86 yan. That's 86.
ano to eh.
That's right after they won the first conference against your Great Taste team. See it?
The very first championship ng Tanduay,
Yeah.
we brought the trophy to Don Manolo's tomb sa I can remember what cemetery.
Manila Memorial yata.
Manila Memorial.
Memorial sa Sukat.
This is Rob Williams and Andre McCoy.
Andre McCoy.
Yun ang pinanghinayangan ng mga Tanduay boys na hindi inabot, hindi nakita ni Don Manolo yung championship trophy na panalunan first time ng team.
Can we, I guess we should ask about these two guys already. Yung
Yeah.
mga naging katandem mo doon that first championship of Tanduay.
Yes.
Perfect combination of imports, I'd like to think. No?
There was a formula for that. Bakit nagkaroon ng good teamwork yung Andre McCoy and Rob Williams, no? Ganun kagaling yung team manager namin, no? Si Don Pipeto del Gallego, no? Because William, we know very well, we have to accept it, the team to accept it, that mas magaling na shooter talaga si Rob Williams kay ni Andre McCoy. Ang pangit ni Andre McCoy ng forma kung tumira, di ba? Si Rob Williams, from 30 feet out, 35 feet out, tumitira yun. Paglampas pa lang ng half court, tumitira minsan yung lokong yun, no? So ang ginawang formula ni Pipito noon, team manager namin, kinausap niya si Andre McCoy. Sabi niya, Andre, don't concentrate too much on scoring. Concentrate on defense and rebounding. For every rebound that you get, I'll give you, I don't remember the amount, but it was in dollars, maybe $50 per rebound. No, so the guy wanted to get all the rebounds there is at defense. So walang kompetensya si Andre McCoy sa scoring, no? So that's when we had the peace in the team.
Galing.
But nung finals, it was Andre McCoy who really stepped up big nung finals, di ba? He was hitting big shots.
He was
that
also
conference.
very professional, happy-go-lucky guy, but he was in shape all the time. To play, ready to play all the time.
I remember that finals, no? Kasi I was a Great Taste fan noon. Mon. There was a game na I don't know if it's game 4 yata, and Great Taste was ahead by 19. And then I think Rob Williams got into it with Turo and he walked out. Pumunta siya sa dugout. Pero nung nag-walk out siya, dun humabol ang Tanduay. And you ended up winning by, I think, 1 point. Dalawang free throw ni Andre McCoy, and I remember it. And then on the other end, si Michael Holton missed the game winner sana. Hindi, masakit yun kasi doon na dapat kasi Great Taste fan ako. No?
Masakit pero yun, sarap ganun eh.
Would you remember what happened noon kung between Rob and Coach Turo?
Honestly, Sid, I don't remember a thing, those little things na I wasn't private to din naman, no? Maybe we're concentrating on our playing. So, yung little intramurals here and there sa team, hindi ko napapansin na kasi masyado yun eh. I don't even remember that year, that game, no?
Nasa topic na tayo ng Tanduay. Let's ask the question already. How was it to suddenly be in tandem? Although you already played with some of them nung nasa Manila Beer ka yata. Pero how was it to be in tandem with a crispa rival before? He became your wingman. He was your complementary player ni Freddy Hubalde. What a combination.
Manila Beer pala atoy ko na eh. Manila Beer pala.
Kaya nga. Manila Beer atoy ko. Pero ito, nag-champion sila eh. Tatlo. How did that feel?
Generally naman, Charlie, pagka basketball player ka, you don't find it hard to adjust to new teammates and all of that, no? Especially when everybody, you respect everybody, you give them respect, and they will reciprocate that with respect, no? Basically it wasn't in the 5 teams that I was with, that I joined, I never had any problem actually with any player for that matter.
Okay.
And even with coaches.
Ito, one-on-one tournament.
Itong
Ray Lazaro agad.
isang novelty ng PBA noong araw, no? Shakey's pa yung sponsor.
One-on-one, halftime yan eh.
Courtesy of Commissioner Leo Prieto.
Correct. Sila may nun eh.
So what was it like, Don Ramon, dito sa competition na ito? Ilang beses din kayo nagkatapat? Actually, si Philip Cesari mas nakatapat mo rito kaysa kay Abid Ginabin eh.
That's what everyone's asking eh, dun sa
Also, yeah. One-on-one kasi we did not give that much importance naman kasi dahil individual lang naman yan eh, no? So, but of course, yung prestige din yan. So, we just had to go through it, play the best we can. So, yun.
This was Ray Lazaro. This was the year he
Ray
won,
Lazaro.
ano?
That's right.
Championship yan. Championship match yata yan dun sa 1980.
Yeah, I won the championship in this one-on-one tournament, yeah. I don't know if this was the first or the second. I think this is the second.
Yung second yata si Lazaro na yung nanalo.
Nanalo ba si Ray?
Second. Runner-up lang siya. Runner-up pala. Sorry. Runner-up pala, tama.
Yung Willie Generalaw yung nanalo sa Manila.
Yung si Philip ang nanalo, yung natalo ko ni Philip, yun ang una.
Yeah, 1979 yata yun.
Yes.
Okay.
That was before.
Ito, I have to ask you about it. Kailan ito, Mon, itong talambola ni Ramon Fernandez?
Yung senatorial nata yan eh, no?
I don't know, maybe about those years also.
This is when you were, you ran for...
I think I saw this when yung Senate eh. 95 yata yun eh. Kamukha ni Eddie Gutierrez yung nasa...
Sino ba yan? Si Jojo Lastimosa ba yan?
Parang eh, no?
Oo nga. Oo nga, parang si ano nga.
Parang si
Anyway,
Edwin
sige.
Gutierrez.
Sige.
Ito naman,
Yun.
the last
87.
championship of Tanduay with David Third Kill, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
Great taste na naman yung tinalo nyo that year. Yeah.
Sino
We were-
kasama yung bata dyan, Don Ramon, sa harapan?
I don't remember.
Kasi
22 eh. Sino ba? Ika-number niya si Third Kill eh.
Anak mo,
Third
anak
kill,
ni
eh.
Third Kill. Ang bilis naman, di ba?
Baka anak ng driver ni Third Kill yan or
Oo, yeah.
Pero what was it like, Don Ramon? Alam naman natin that you were one of the best PBA players, but David Third Kill, of course, kakagaling na sa championship sa Boston Celtics with the best team. Anong nakuha mo kay David Third Kill? Anong napag-usapan niyo, pagkwentuhan niyo about the Boston Celtics and of course yung paglalaro niya rito?
actually hindi ko masyado nakakakwentuhan si David Third Kill not unless in practice or maybe in short get-togethers, no.
Okay.
This time he was with his brother-in-law and his wife when he came over for Tanduay. So we didn't really have much interaction with him, no.
Sa court lang talaga
Professional
The court lang mostly, yeah.
Can you talk about this
Although
season now?
we went out together as a team.
Yeah.
Itong conference na to, you beat a loaded Great Taste team, ano? I should remember. Kasi 4-1. And talagang sobrang lakas ng Great Taste there. Michael Young, Dickie
Ricardo
Brown, Philip
Alan
and
Kaidik.
Bernie were there, and Twadles and rookie Alan Kaidik, no? But you just had their number tong conference na to eh. Alam ko eh. Parang you beat them 5 times out of 6 yata or whatever. They just couldn't beat you. What made that team so special? Itong 487 Open Conference.
Itong last hurrah ng Tanduay.
I guess because of the personal involvement also of the management of the team, no? Sila Pipito Del Gallego. There was a guy from kababayan ko from Leyte, si Joe Ledesma. And the other guys, no? Yeah. So we were out almost, especially with Puro Balinsona, is also from Leyte, you know. In fact, meron pa yata kaming relationship ni Toro, distant relationship sa
Yeah.
Gaviola side,
yes.
no? From
You mentioned that.
Parang may binanggit nga siya. Binanggit nga niya.
Kaya nung unang dating ko dito sa Manila, pinagbilin ako ng brother ko kay Turo eh. Turo, alagaan mo yan si Tito dyan sa Rizal Memorial. Alam mo naman si Turo. Kingpin sa Rizal Memorial.
Yes.
Yeah, the team, Turo was our coach at the time. So, napakaganda ng samahan ng team. It's basically the composition of the team, the psyche of the team, no? Na walang nagpapagalingan, walang treat each other, pare-parehas lang kami, you know? So it was really the samahan nitong team ng Tanduay. Plus of course, yung number 1 fan namin doon, si Miss Tessa Asminis, no? Sila Rhea Navarro. They were always with us. No? Baka hindi kaya nanonood ngayon yun?
Baka
Pwede kong i-message.
Pwede naman
Yung
i-text
Tessa,
yun.
yeah, she was my teacher in college actually.
That's
my professor.
correct.
Pero what happened
Si Tessa
here?
talaga, Tanduay talaga yan through and
Oh,
through.
sobra. She posts often sa Facebook page ng Tanduay. Pero what happened after this? What happened to Tanduay after this? The rest of the year was a bad year and then nawala na yung Tanduay.
What year was this?
87. After this championship, nagparang 6th place yata sa second, tapos halos last place sa third, and then the team left the PBA already. Do you recall what happened?
I don't recall the exact. I guess I don't know. I can't recall. No. I guess you have to give it to the other teams also. Improve din sila, gumanda din ang laro on and off. Usually, ganun naman eh. We missed a Grand Slam here sa Tanduay, di ba?
Yeah, sayang.
So, it was like that. And of course, going into the last few seasons, last few tournaments, there were news already that when the owner came back, si Manda,
Yeah.
when he came back, so there were already news that he didn't want to keep the team. He wanted to sell the franchise. So I guess that played a part of that.
Yeah. Okay. What's next?
Well, we have to talk about your relationship with Sonny Jaworski, you know.
Simula, no? It was a very, parang match made in heaven kayong dalawa when you were starting out as amateur sa Mika, pati yung transition nyo sa PBA, parang napaka-inseparable ng, you cannot imagine Jaworski without Fernandez sa early days of Toyota.
That's correct. In fact, Sonny was a teammate of my older brother at UE. If I remember correctly, I was first year high school and the seminary in 1965. He was also first year college at UE in 1965 because I was writing my brother at the time from UE. They were roommates, I think, in UE. Si Nat Canson and my brother, si Lito, and Sonny Jaworski. They would go to, they lived in UARM, yun ang quarters nila eh. So they would go to school at the main campus sa Claro and Recto together. So until my brother went on to play for Meralco in 67, with sina Canson, Paseos, Herrera, that. So yeah, from the older brother to the youngest brother, nagka-teammate kami ni Sonny Jaworski.
Kung nagsisimula kayo ni Coach Sonny when you were still playing in sa Mika for Toyota, what was ano na ba siya talaga? You knew that he was a special basketball player talaga. Iba talaga yung dating niya sa game.
Well, he was Sonny Jaworski already at the time, no? He had that impact already sa crowd and in the game, no? He had proven that in the mid-60s, the late 60s, and so on until we played together. No? So definitely, that was also one of the factors that made Toyota really that maraming following ang Toyota. Definitely.
Right.
And at that time, up to that point, I've never seen a player condition himself, disciplined himself talaga for the game.
The legendary actually yung ni Coach Sonny, yung conditioning niya and the way he trains.
Mm-hmm.
Could you like give us an example lang of how he prepared, how he took care of his body back then?
He was the only player at the time that I did not see uminom maski wine man lang even when we win championships. No? That time, of course, smoking was a no-no, of course. But drinking, sana man lang pag championship, siyempre, inuman, no? Or noon, pag natalo kayo, siya pare, kailangan uminom tayo. Kailangan uminom tayo, talo tayo eh.
Win or lose.
Pag nanalo naman, pare, sarap uminom. Panalo tayo. Win or lose. I never saw him drink a single drop of, as I said, even wine or beer. No?
Kahit kape nga daw eh. Hindi nga nainom ng kape daw si Coach Sonny.
That I don't know. Because I never had coffee also at the time. Di ba tayo coffee drinkers at the time. No?
What happened eventually to your partnership with Sonny? There were a lot of last year ng Toyota. There were a lot of rumors in the papers na hindi na raw kayo magkasundo ni Sonny, and it was having an effect daw on the team. Pero what really happened there?
I think that was triggered, ano yun misconception. I would like to believe now it can be. I think it can be told now. In the whole year kasi of 1982, Sunny had a recurring groin injury. I can't remember how many games lang he played in 1982, no? And we won 2 championships that year, no? So ito naman kaibigan natin kasing sports writer, si Jimmy Cantor. I think he's the sports editor ng Malaya up to now, I think. Timing naman I think towards the end of 82, December of 1982, he dropped by our practice in San Agustin, Recoletos. So he was interviewing me, he was asking me questions. And one of his questions was, he asked me about my opinion about Sunny because, I don't know, I can't remember. 82, how old was Sunny then already? He was in
36.
36, 37, 38, thereabouts, no?
36, yeah.
Thereabouts. So he was asking me, Mon, if you were, I was what? Only, I was much 8 years younger than him. No? So he asked me, Mon, if you were Sunny Jaworski, Mon, what with this condition, what will you do? Sabi ko, honestly, taking it from a player's point of view, considering his age, that was my personal opinion. Considering his age, he has nothing to prove anymore. He has played for the national team. He has served his country well, served in the national team. He has played so many games and proven what he can do for the sport. I just don't know how bad his injury is, no? If he can still get back to it. But isa sa mga options ko would be siguro mag-retire na lang ako. Total, pwede naman siyang mag-coach, pwede naman siyang mag-team manager, no? So there's, ibig sabihin parang there's life after basketball naman eh. Hindi naman yun going to the end of the career. So I guess hindi masyado na gustuhan ni Sunny yung sinabi ko ngayon. So that started the whole thing, especially the time the press were already, yung mga write-ups ng press, medyo because of the performance of Toyota that year na wala masyado siyang nando doon. Praise nila ako, nag-new leader, those sort of things ba? So those are actually the only reasons I can think of.
How did you feel about that, Don Ramon? Your words were used against you, tapos ngayon your friend is now at odds with you dahil dun sa news report na yun.
How's that? What do you mean?
How did you feel about that? Yung ngayon na hindi na kayo magkasundo because of what happened, what transpired during that interview. How did that affect you as a person? Na kayo ni Sunny, Coach Sunny, hindi na kayo in good terms?
Hindi naman ako masyadong nainis or what kay Jimmy. Hindi naman. Because that was just my personal opinion. Opinion lang naman. I can be right, I can be wrong, no? Hindi naman, opinion ko lang yun. That was my personal take on his physical state at that specific time, no?
Right.
So, binaliwala ko yun. Hindi ko naman binigyan ng importansya.
The rivalry or whatever rift between you and Sunny was on the rise, but then tama-tama nagpart kayo ng teams, no? He went to Gilby's, you went to Beerhausen, and then so you played against each other. And then in 1986, you met in the All-Filipino finals, Tanduay versus Ginebra. Was there extra motivation that you're playing against the team of someone looked at as your rival, a former teammate? Now, do you want to prove something? Was that added motivation for you?
There is always added motivation in situations like that, in instances like that. No, you want to prove that your team is much better than because a rivalry was already brewing up. No, nag-develop na yung rivalry noon ng Ginebra at sa Tanduay. Makita mo, even sa fans, yung gulo doon sa Ultra. At the time, hindi ang players nag-aaway, yung mga fans sa taas, nagsasaksak doon. No? So there was that extra push in both of us, in both teams, no, to win over the other. Siyempre, no, you want to prove that you are better.
Roman, before that final series, I remember you made a bold prediction to the media that Tanduay would win 3-0 sweep.
Did we sweep that?
3-1.
Oh,
3-1. Then I think Ginebra won the first game, and then sa interview, Terry Saldana was the best player, said, sa sinasabi ni Mon, at least ngayon naka-1 na kami. Hindi kami masisweep. But calculated ba yung ginawa mong yun na pagsabi ng 3-0 na you're going to sweep them to motivate your team and to rile up the Ginebra faithful?
I don't remember saying that, but I guess it was maybe to perk up myself, no? Because not too many knew that I was playing very injured during the championship series. I think the series started on a Sunday. On the Thursday before that Sunday series, there was Shade Olympics at Ultra. No, and I was so careless, so crazy. I joined the Olympics. And when I ran the 200 meters, pumutok yung hamstring ko, not hamstring, the thigh muscle in front. Ano ba tawag doon sa muscle in front, Charlie?
Binti.
Dito sa side, no? Sa my left leg, na nagkaroon ako ng muscle tear. So I had to, so that has to be heavily bandaged, and I was hobbling. I was playing that All Filipino. That's why I had to psych up myself, I suppose, no? So it's a good thing. I was really lucky that we still won the championship. Otherwise, I would have blamed myself really for what happened to myself there physically. You know?
I just read a comment right now. Actually, yung naging rivalry nyo, the Jaworski-Fernandez rivalry actually saved the PBA after Crispa and Toyota had disbanded. What do you think about that? Di ba?
As I said earlier, that was the new rivalry that was developing. It's just a pity that Tanduay had to close shop also at the end of 1987. No? So it was already developing that rivalry that could have gone near the rivalry of Toyota and Crispa.
So, pero in this case, hindi na siya teams. It's personalities na. It's Jaworski versus Fernandez. So wherever Fernandez went, yan ang papanig. Just to be honest with you, nung nagkaroon ng shade, nung nawala yung Toyota, wherever Mon Fernandez went, doon ako kumakampi. Just to be honest with you. Hindi ako, I'm not saying hindi ako Jaworski fan, pero wherever Fernandez went, because mas gusto kay Fernandez doon ako kakampi. So
yung maraming ganun din.
Ito siguro, kami lang dalawa ni Sunny. But the Crispa Toyota kasi, Fernandez Gidabin, Jaworski, Atoyko, or whoever, Arnaiz and Pabiosa, whatever. So, kaya siguro ganun din ang rivalry noon. Mas maraming personalities against each other. No?
Tama. Oh, next,
Yeah.
click. Ito,
Okay,
this is
this is
1990.
19 biglang naging coach nyo na si Sunny sa national
That's correct.
team
Yeah.
to the Beijing Asian Games. Ano?
After we won the 1989 All-Star game.
Which is the picture before that actually, di ba? That's where it was taken, di ba? Yung picture nila dalawa before this was
Yeah,
at the end of the 89 All-Star game. Oh,
Teka, before we get into that, ano nga ba, the 1989 All-Star Game, was that the first time na nag-usap kayo after all of those years? Or were you still talking?
That's,
Hindi lang kayo, ano?
yeah, nung pinagkamay kayo ni Baby at the end.
Oo. Magkamayan kayo.
Yeah, that was-
Yung nagpasahan muna kayo. Ganda rin nun eh.
That was the first time.
Oo. So was that play, nung nag-inbound si Senator Jaworski,
ito na.
sa'yo ba yun?
Ito na.
Talaga.
Okay, sige,
panoorin natin.
tignan natin. Ano ba? Nandun na tayo
No.
kasi ganda na ng flow natin eh.
I don't know. I don't remember that as the last play na binigay ni Baby Dalupan. It just so happened na naiwasan ko siguro si Benji Paras sa sideline. Nandoon ako sa sideline kaya sa akin pinasa ni Sunny, no?
Yeah. We can go through it right now for the benefit of the viewers.
Go,
Din.
go.
Let's see it. 1989 All-Star Game. Sige.
And what a significant moment that 1989 All-Star Game actually was. Kasi ang ganda ng concept nun, Don Ramon, yung rookies against the sophomores, juniors, rookie sophomores, juniors against the veterans.
Wala pang
Parang
juniors no?
naging-
Rookie sophomores lang. Oh.
Oh, naging passing of the torch yun. Tingin ko yung game na yun eh. Kasi yung new start.
ito na yung handshake. Si Baby Dalupan, yan, brought both of you together. Pinilit niya mag-handshake kayo. So, that was some, ay hindi, medyo na pala to.
Share it.
You share it, oh. Ikaw lang nakita eh.
Ha?
Di namin nakita.
Hindi mo nakashare.
Hindi nyo ba? Teka.
Hindi pa.
Hindi nyo ba nakita? Sorry.
Di namin nakita.
Yung picture lang yung nakababad eh.
Oo.
Yan.
Yan.
Can you see it now?
Lakihan mo na.
Malaki na nga ito.
Okay, sige. So, yung
Akala ko nakita.
final play muna. Yung final play. Oh, yan.
Last play na agad.
Kasi parang...
Pero ang ganda ng game na yun. That was the first All-Star game. Don Ramon, they didn't have that before that. Ito yung play.
Nakikita nyo na ba? Nakikita nyo na yung...
Nakikita na namin.
Yeah.
Ayan.
There, a boom.
Yan. Jaworski to Fernandez. Fernandez sa baseline, umiwas, and then scores.
No time left.
The game winner with no time left.
Tapos, si Dig na Dice, hindi mo hinay five.
You left him hanging.
Na-fakean ko siya doon.
Oo nga.
So, ito na yung handshake ng Baby Dalupan gathering both of you.
Tinuturo na kayo ni Coach Baby.
And the crowd went wild as Feb says.
I was watching this live. Hindi ko mapigilan yung emotions ko rin noon. Of course, I was 18 years old when that happened. Pero yung what a moment din yan na finally yung nagkabati na kayo lahat. Ano yan, Don Ramon? Nung practice pa lang ng All-Star Game, nagpansinan na kayo or nung dulo na lang na yun, doon na lang kayo nag-usap?
Well, of course, nagpapansinan. Civil with each other, of course. No? As if nothing has happened. Just like any regular teammate.
Yeah.
Of course, without the chit-chat anymore.
But then after that handshake, yun, so naging okay na kayo ulit ni Coach Sunny, at least moving forward to the 1990 Asian Games.
Yeah,
At least the ice was broken, as they say.
Right.
Yung animosity medyo nabawasan ng konti if ever there was, no?
Yeah, we need to talk about that 1990 team. No? We saw the picture already. Ano naman yung feeling noon? Imagine 1973 ka huling 1974 ka huling nag-national team. All of a sudden 16 years later, you're with these young guys, Paras, Patrimonio, Kaidik.
Pero pag isang news outlet,
Samboy Lim.
Where's the 39-year-old on the Philippine team? Hindi nila makita kung sino daw yung 39-year-old doon sa Philippine team. Kasi nagtanggal ng balba si Don Ramon, ay ng bigote si Don Ramon.
In 1974, I was the youngest in the team. In 1990, I was the oldest in the team.
That's right.
But how many years is that? 74 to
16.
1990.
16 years.
16 years, no? So, yeah.
Paano naman? How was that feeling? How was the feeling in the 1990 team with all these young guys and then you're there?
Just before Don Ramon, I'll just tell you, Don Ramon, na nung binago yung rule, ginawang open basketball ni nung time na yun, Secretary General of FIBA si Stankovic, ginawang open basketball, yung pwede na maglaro yung mga professionals sa sa international competition. The Asian Games was the very first competition na
For us, the
sinubukan yung
Philippines.
concept. No, for the entire world.
For the entire world, that was the
For
first
the entire
competition
world.
after that was allowed.
Oo. Nauna kayo sa
Kailan
Dream
ba
Team.
yung Kailan ba yung dream team nila?
92.
92 pa yun eh. So
Oo.
nauna kayo.
Wala bang 88 na dream team? Wala.
Talo ka sa Olympics
Yeah.
sa
They lost.
1988.
That's why na 89
College,
na approve. 89 na
okay.
approve yun eh. So 90.
So you were the
Okay.
first professional basketball team that took
Oo.
advantage of
Well,
the
pati
rule.
na rin CBA. Naglaro na rin yung CBA nung time na yun. Pero at least
Thank
yung
you for
Philippines.
reminding me.
Yeah.
Pero what was it
Yeah.
like? Tama sinasabi ni Attorney Charlie Don Ramon. You were the first group of professionals to represent the Philippines. What was it like in Beijing in 1990? Yung competition na yun.
Well, let me try to retrieve the data. Medyo mahaba-haba na tape yung retrieve ko. Well, it was a fun team also. No? The young guys were there. I made fun of those young guys. Benji Paras, Ronnie Magsano, sina Ives Ligdadice. They were already my teammates sa San Miguel. So I was quite at ease at home with them already. So it was a challenge for all of us. No? We have to work together. Although 2 weeks lang yata kaming
Tama.
nag-practice noon eh, no?
Yes.
And to prepare for the team, no? So we went to Beijing together and we had fun there. So yeah. In fact, ang mga sidelights na kwento noon, napakaganda kasi nung pauwi na kami sa airport sa Beijing, magkasama ako si Mr. Lito Puyat, si Benji Paras, some other guys. We were in a huddle, ganyan. Sabi ni Lito Puyat, Mr. Puyat, saka kay Benji, pakitingnan mo nga itong attache case ko ha. Nilapag niya yung attache case niyang ganyan. No? Pakitingnan lang, umalis siya, lumakad siya. So, okay, kwentuhan kami doon. So, dating na kami ng Hong Kong. Pagdating namin sa Hong Kong, sabi ni Mr. Puyat kay Benji, asan yung attache case ko? Sabi niya, ha? Sabi niyo, sir, tingnan niyo lang. Hindi mo naman sinabi. Naiwan sa Beijing yung attache case.
Wow!
Buti, tinawagan niya yung mga officials ng Chinese basketball. I said, nakuha naman niya kaagad yung
Akala ko na
case.
gano'n, nag-prank si Benji. Baka may joke siyang ginawa dahil komedyante si Benji. Yung
Ay, na nga.
talaga.
So, we dropped by Hong Kong from the trip. So, usapan ng team, nag-runner-up naman tayo, mag-rest, mag-R&R naman tayo ng konti dito. Si Benji talaga at si Ronnie gusto talagang umalis kasi may laro sila, may laro ang Shell na gusto nilang humabol. Ayaw namin pumayag. Sabi, niloko ko si Benji lalo na. Sabi ko, Benji, pag umuwi ka, pare, titirahin kita ng titirahin hanggang sa mag-retire ka. Hindi ka na, so they stay behind. We were that close. Fun together.
And also, on that team, you had, naging kakampi mo na rin sa Pure Foods eventually, pero you had a very young Alvin Patrimonio on that team, of course. Eventually, hahabol din siya sa record niya na 4 MVPs, pero marami pang, si Alvin, did you see also the potential already in him to be probably another Mon Fernandez in the making?
That's precisely why I recruited him from Swift, Noel.
Yes. 1988.
1988, when I formed, when Rene Buhain asked me to form the team, ang inuna ko talaga doon, aside from my Tanduay teammates, ang inuna ko talaga doon kinausap si Alvin. Si Alvin talagang nung umpisa, ayaw niyang umalis kasi alam mo naman yung bata, ang bait ni Alvin eh. Nakapangako siya nila Joey Concepcion na he will stick on with them. So talagang kinonvince ko siya. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, Alvin, yung offer ng Pure Foods sa'yo, namin sa'yo, hindi mo na walang ibang teams na makaka-offer sa iyo ng ganito. I just couldn't remember exactly how much that it was quite hefty sum for a rookie at the time. It was really very good salary already. So sabi niya kasi nakapagbigay siya ng salita kila Joey Concepcion. So sinabi ko sa kanya, ganito na lang, Alvin, compromise tayo. Laro ka muna sa Swift, sa I think PBL ba?
ABL.
Ano?
ABL pa at the time.
Laro ka doon half of the year, tapos second half of the year, lipat ka na sa amin, join us in the All-Filipino. So yun ang naging usapan namin. That's why he came in the All-Filipino tournament already. And I was pretty sure we would have made excuse me. Dapat yung team namin na yun, napakalakas na talaga no? Kaso medyo nasira naman ang ulo ni Rene Buhay at that time, no? So that's already water under the bridge. So yeah, I saw, that's precisely why I got him, because I saw the promise of Alvin Patrimonio already at that time.
Of course, for the record, Alvin Patrimonio never left the Pure Foods franchise and retired as a member of Pure Foods with 4 MVPs like Don Ramon here.
That's right.
That's correct.
Pero after the success in Tanduay and then you transferred nga, a bunch of the Tanduay guys transferred to Pure Foods and then you teamed up with those young guys. As you said, grabe yung potential ng team na yun, di ba? Parang it looked like a powerhouse already immediately. Pero what happened? I mean, you faltered in the first conference finals, and then, diba, tapos second, and then eventually you were playing coach at one point in time, and then later on you were going to San Miguel already. So what happened in that 1 year? Parang ang bilis ng pangyayari.
Yeah, because nag-umpisa kami ni Rene Buhay ng maling umpisa at the very beginning because when we negotiated, he wanted me to be the playing coach. No? We were neighbors in Ayala, Alabang before during that time. So I had a meeting with him in his house, and he really practically convinced me or forced me to be playing coach. No? So pumayag ako, and I said, okay, that was a Friday. So I said, okay, I'm leaving for Baguio tonight. That was a Friday morning. Friday evening, I was leaving for Baguio. And I said, I'll be back Sunday evening, because he wanted to call a press conference early Monday morning that time. So I said, okay, so I will be there. So I said, Mr. Buhayan, I'd like us to get Eli Capasio to be my assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him the number of Eli. I called Eli, tawag sa'yo si Rene Buhayan. Ikaw ang assistant, tulungan mo naman ako sa we're teammates in Tanduay, di ba?
Yes, right.
Si father ang tawag namin. So
Mm-hmm.
I gave his number to Rene Buhayan, and I said, just call him, kayo na mag-negotiate, and we'll see each other on Monday for the press con to introduce the team at the Pure Foods office. No? So tama. Monday morning, dinaanan ko si Eli sa bahay niya, papunta sa Pure Foods office. Then the press con. But ang nangyari, pagdating ng press con, nagulat ako, si Coach Chris Calilan was there. So bigla na lang niyang in-announce without telling me, the assistant coach of Mon, si Chris Calilan.
Mm-hmm.
So siyempre, nabigla ako, no? But I did not make a fuss about it. I just convinced him na ituloy pa rin natin kunin si Eli Capasio. No? So it started with that. And nag-runner-up kami at the very first tournament with David Thirkill.
Correct.
No? And he would, every time matalo ka ng game, he would abutin kami 30 minutes or 1 hour in the dugout kakausapin niya ako, tuturuan niya ako, pagsasabihan niya ako and all that. So, I was telling him, look, Mr. Buan, don't judge me now on a per game basis. Let's finish first the tournament or the year. If you're not happy with how that I'm doing, then let me know. No, we can talk about it. But that went on and on and on until the second conference sa All Filipino. So the same thing. So I was playing coach at the time. It's kind of hard because I was playing still so many minutes, no? Mahirap, you're playing so many minutes and ikaw pa rin ang head coach, no? So nakikialam siya sa substitutions. Si Chris Kalilan, papadala niya ang papel. So palitan mo na yan, palitan si ganito, palitan si ganon. So I finally decided to resign as to concentrate because I could see that my game was really not the same anymore because of the pressure and all that. No? So I let go of the coaching job. I concentrated on playing. Kaming unang dumating sa championships, we had to wait for 1 week.
Right.
Dahil naglalaro pa ang Ginebra and I don't remember kung sinong kalaban nila. San Miguel. Umabot na sila ng maximum number of games. Kami, mabilis naming natalo yung series namin for the semifinals. No? So we were waiting for about a week. No? So yun. After the first game, unfortunately, natalo kami. That was the disadvantage of us not being competitive for 1 week. No? While our team, our opponent, they were playing. No? So natalo kami first game. And then yun, after that, hindi na niya ako pinalaro. So tamang-tama naman, nakaabang na si Mr. Nono Lides.
Ibaseta.
nung nag-aaway kami ni Buhain, I filed a case against him and all that. Ito naman si Nono Ibaseta, pa rin tawag naman sa akin, Mon, huwag ka na maingay, tahimik ka lang dyan. So,
Tampering.
tampering na siya doon. So, kinausap na niya si Buhain. I guess he was successful. Kaya, hindi na ako umimik, no? So, it was a blessing in disguise. No, may rason din talaga ang Diyos na it was a complete turnaround sa career ko eh. San Miguel was the one who got me in Cebu and I went back to San Miguel. It's a complete 360 degrees comeback, the homecoming in effect.
That's right.
Yeah.
Saka medyo strange din yun. You have the 1988 MVP being traded. Diba? Yun yung last MVP nyo, 1988 MVP getting traded to San Miguel. When we talked to Coach Norman Black, pati siya nagulat. How can we get a Mon Fernandez? He just won the MVP, di ba? Oh. But then in 1989, you did, 88 and then finally 89, ayan na yung magic run nyo sa San Miguel. Kwento nyo yun, Don Ramon. How special was it now playing for this 1989 Grand Slam team ng San Miguel?
Yeah, it wasn't hard for me to adjust. Ako lang ang nag-adjust sa kanila eh. And I'm sure they also had a little bit of adjustment to me. But more of how the game is played with me around ang adjustment nila. No? So they were a complete team already. They were prepared well by Coach Ron Jacobs and all that. They were intact. So parang I was just the missing formula, I suppose. No, that's precisely why I guess Nono really pursued me to go back to San Miguel. So there were a few, si Alfie Almario, pamangkin ni Nono Ibaseta yan.
Yeah.
Taga Cebu din yun. So dami ko pang kaibigan sa San Miguel din. When I first started with San Miguel, nandun pa sila. So I lalo na yung 89, binanggit ko nga to nung nag-guest kami dalawa ni Norman, no, without belittling, of course, Norman's ability as a coach. Napakalakas lang talaga nung team na yon. Na ang biruan namin, puta, maski si Tano, yung ball boy namin, ang coach niya, team na magsa-champion na to. No? Everybody was counting bonus during that year. No? So, in fact, the whole year of 1989, alam niyo naman yung bonus schemes ng PBA at that time. Now, I don't know. Parang, pag pumasok ka sa quarterfinals, if there was a quarterfinals, half a month's salary. Pag pumasok ng semifinals, 1 month salary. Pag pumasok ng finals, another 1 month salary. Pag nag-champion, 2 months salary. So, the whole year of 89, kanya imagine, umabot ng 36 months effectively yung sweldo namin. That is on the major bonuses sa monthly. Kaya hindi kasali doon yung per game.
Oh, meron pa.
Per game sa eliminations, per game sa quarterfinals, per game sa semifinals, and per game sa finals. Iba pa yun doon sa monthly advances sa kwan. So, yun ang biruan namin noon. 4 months na naman to, 3 months na naman to. Pero, wala, napaka-intact din ng team. Ang ganda ng samahan ng team. We had respect for each other. So, we didn't encounter really any problem, major problem at that time.
You had an MVP season in 88. Some say you might have played better in 89. Do you think you should have been MVP in 89?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Pero pa 1979, nakalimutan ko rin balikan.
Hindi, di ba?
89 muna.
89, dito na tayo sa
89
Kayo na mag-judge dyan, mag-decide dyan.
Tapos yung kalaban nyo pa doon, isang kaibigan mo eventually sa national team, si Benji Paras pa.
Exactly.
Diba? Mande, I question ko naman, sige, 89, sabihin na natin, okay, bigyan na natin kay Benji. Pero in 1979, a lot of people are saying that should have been your year. 1979.
Also, ganun din yung nangyari doon. Mas complicated lang konti ang 89 sa 79. Sa 79, I was ahead in statistics and the players' votes. Natalo ako sa media votes.
No?
Sa 89 naman, I think I was ahead sa statistics, no? I was ahead sa statistics. Sa players' votes, I think ang number 2 doon might have been Alvin Patrimonio eh. Pang-third, ang maalala ko, pang-third ni Paras. Kasi ang ginawa ni Rene Buhain doon, yung mga pure foods players, pinaboto niya kay Benji, hindi niya pinaboto kay Alvin. Kaya sama ng loob ni Alvin at the time. Para lang
okay, I didn't know that.
para huwag lang akong manalo. Pinaboto niya yung mga pure food players ni Benji Paras. Of course, nakuha din nila ang votes ng media at the time because it was our friend Ronnie Nathaniels who was more or less handling Benji Paras. He was the one campaigning for Benji Paras na hindi na mauud ang line na noon was hindi na mauulit na this history making that a rookie MVP will happen. So he was able to convince the press to vote for Benji. But as I said, that's how the cookie crumbles at times. Kung tayo, hindi talaga just have to move on.
Diba, nakaapat ka naman. Doon naman, okay. Pwede na yun.
Okay lang yun. Kasi ang ambisyon ko lang naman sa basketball, makalaro ako sa national team eh. Yun naman talaga number 1 motivation ko eh. Yung championships and awards sa PBA, mga icing on the cake na lang yan eh. No?
Don Ramon, nung gines namin si Norman Black dito, he was parang one of the reasons why he was apprehensive nung trade na yun is because nung magkalaban daw kayo, you used to call each other names daw. Kung ano talaga, nag-aasaran daw talaga kayo.
Oh.
And then parang apprehensive na, why did we get Fernandez? I'm okay with Gidabin. And then because of that, what was that like? Ano, yung laban niya ni Norman Black nung since 1981?
Kasi minsan pag tumatalon si Norman for rebound, naiiwanan yung pants niya sa babae. minsan hahawakan mo dahil paano mo naman lalabanan sa rebound yun? Laki-laki nun, lakas-lakas na ano. Kailangan hawakan mo yung shorts niya. So, hindi na siya makatalon. Mga konting siko dito, konting trash talk dito. So,
yung word na ginamit niya, we used to call each other names. I just can't repeat those names. So,
Hindi raw niya masabi. He cannot say it.
Exactly. So that's all part of the game. Much worse pa nga yung trash talking namin sa ibang teams, like sa Chris pa noon. Mas grabe pa nga.
Sigurado.
Sigurado.
Sa Chris pa, Don Ramon, sino yung number 1 mong ka-trash talk? Si Philip ba o si Abet? O si Bernie?
Wala, hindi masyado si Philip. Hindi kami nag-trash talking ni Philip. Yung mga teammates niya, si Abet, binibiro ko, niloloko ko si Abet. Pareho kami Bisaya eh. Taga Kamigin kasi si Abet eh, no? And I hope he forgives me, but doon sa mga biro, alam naman niya, biro, naging kaibigan naman kami after our career na eh, no? But yung trash talking namin ni Abet, biro naman, paluko naman, hindi naman totoo eh, no? Pero madaling, kasi si Abet kasi napakainitin ng ulo eh. Madaling mapikon.
Yun na nga eh. Yun.
Kaya andali, sarap asarin eh kasi napipikon. Kasi pag hindi napipikon, huwag mo na lang asarin yung player. Di ba?
Did you ever talk to Abet? Nag-usap kayo ba ever na doon sa mga trade niyo? Parang after your careers are over, parang grabe, na-trade tayo 2 beses para sa isa't isa.
Wala na. We never mentioned that anymore because he migrated to the States na, di ba? And then, but we went there. I went with the group there, the foundation na tinayo nila ni Abet doon. We went there, we played 4 games to support Abet's medication and hospitalization at that time, part of it, no? So we were there, nagkausap din kami, kwentuhan, konti ganyan. Pero nothing about the past already. In fact, after nag-disband yung Toyota and Crispa, and nagsama-sama kami one way or the other, nagkalaban kami, wala na sa Crispa Toyota, somewhere, mellow down na rin. Tumatanda na rin siguro.
Speaking of Abet lang and you, Don Roman, for a stretch from 82 to 88, both of you combined for 6 of the 7 MVPs. So si Ricardo Brown lang yung naka-break ng ano yan. 1985.
Ilan?
Apat kayo, 2 si Abet, 1 si Ricardo Brown.
82 to 88, you were
6 plus 2,
Kayo ni Abet yung nag-monopolize ng MVP. Pero ang tanong ko na sa'yo, sa apat mo na...
realize that.
Yeah, he won in 83 and 87. Tapos ikaw 82, 84, 86,
Lahat ng even years sa'yo eh.
Kasi yung gitna nun was Ricky Brown, 85. Siya lang yung naka-break ng na yun. But my question lang is, with your 4 MVP awards, ano yung pinaka-memorable dun sa apat?
I would say pare-pareho eh. Because Toyota, that was my first. Beerhausen, we didn't win a championship. We were in the semis and in the finals in all the conferences. Tanduay, we won championship. San Miguel, we won also a championship. So, pare-pareho eh. For me, walang talagang yung lamang ba sa, as I said, yung mga ganong awards, icing na lang sa cake ngayon eh, no?
Although 1984 was your best season
I was about to
statistically,
say, yes.
that was your almost triple-double
Yeah.
average. No, you missed by 6 assists to get 10 assists a game. Why was basketball so easy that season for you? I mean, 27 points, 15 rebounds, 9.8 assists a game. Bakit biglang nag-shoot up yung stat? Is it because you transferred to another team na wala na yung ibang magagaling din ng Toyota, or did you dedicate yourself more that year?
I guess all of the above.
Yeah.
No? I wanted to prove that I can carry the team to the championships at least, no? Or maybe win a championship. And well, the composition of the team, they were all supportive of me also, no? Because actually, ang formula ko, Charlie, doon sa to be in the thick of an MVP race, ang ginawa kong formula, Ricky, was ano lang, score from 15 to 20 points a game, assist 8 to 10 or 12 or more kung pwede pa, 10 rebounds at least or more. Because pag naka-assist ka ng 12, tuwang-tuwa yung pinasahan mo eh. Naka-shoot siya.
Right.
Di ba? I could have scored if I really wanted to. Binuaya ako. I could have scored 30, 40 points in every game because I was playing 42 minutes. Di ba?
Right.
But siyempre, mahiya ka naman sa mga teammates mo na putya na sinusulong mo naman. So it's always good to assist somebody, makascore siya, so that kung kailangan mo siya to prod him to play defense also on the other side of the court, ganado din siyang dumifensa. Hindi ba? Kasi nakakahawak sila ng bola, nakakashoot sila. So when you ask them, always work, double times sa defense din. So, because umabot lang at that time, because of the statistics that I pile up with that formula, pumasok na ako ng semifinals in all 3 conferences. Lamang ako sa statistical points eh.
Right.
So if I win a championship or 2 in that year, I think 95% kuha mo na yung MVP, no? Lamang ka na. You should be able to convince the other players and the press.
Yeah, of course, 1984, kalaban mo, Ricardo Brown na yung up and coming nung time na yun, galing Rookie of the Year. Actually, I think Ricardo Brown had a better year in 84 than he did in 85. But Mon Fernandez still won the MVP.
Hindi, grabe naman kasi yung taon rin ni Don Ramon noong 84.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
Stats-wise.
Oh.
Wow, okay.
Sid.
Ako may quick question lang ako kay Don Ramon before I go to my regular questions. How did you develop your elegant shot?
Oh, yun.
It is basically a simple running shot, Sid. Diba? It's just a running one-handed running shot.
Yes.
One-hander running shot, no? Because as what all coaches will tell a player, that an offensive player is at least one step ahead of his defense. Di ba? So when you're dribbling that ball and you just take off with the running shot, huli talaga yung defensa mo eh. They'll never, I don't see, not unless 7-footer at ikaw 6'3", baka mablangka ka ng defensa mo. But kung kapantay mo lang ang height or mataas ng konti, hindi niya mabablock, especially if you're running shot pa, gumagalaw pa yung movement mo. And
Right.
one-hander up there, no? So all you really have to do is master that shot, no? And I don't know, I don't think any of you has seen si Baby Boy Morales the time sa Ateneo. I remember that guy used to do a lot of running shot also, no? And there were other guys who do that, no? Who plays that shot. So basically that's it.
Wala lang
Yep.
kasing elegante nung pagtira.
Oo,
Sa'yo lang yung may nickname na running
diba?
shot. Ginawang elegant shot
Siyempre, paminsan-minsan, pag maganda ang kondisyon mo, maganda ang control mo sa balance mo, aartihan mo ng D4 paminsan-minsan.
May photo ka na gano'n. May photo na D4 ka.
May makaibang kuha nga si Abby King para ginagaya na ni Abby King yung tirang yun eh. Diba? Eventually. Pero iba pa rin talaga yung elegant shot eh.
Right.
Yeah. My last ano lang is I asked this question of all of our guests, Don Ramon, and I think it would be very interesting to hear your answers to this since you played with so many different teams and different teammates. Who are your top 5 favorite teammates of all time?
That I refuse to answer. I refuse to answer that, Sid, because ayokong may sumama na loob because napakaraming for me.
Okay, I understand.
For me, sa success kasi sa team, hindi lang doon sa teammates mo eh. Pati ballboy kasama yun, masayista mo kasama yun eh. Hindi lang saka mahirap sabihin eh. It's hard. Sa dami.
Sige, Sid, ipa-fine-tune ko yung tanong nyo.
Pa-fine-tune
tanong mo. Ipa-fine-tune ko yung tanong ni Sid, Don Ramon. Sino paborito mong teammate? Paborito mong teammate? Isa lang.
Pinaka-paborito kong
Teammate. One only.
lalo nang mahirap yun.
Lalo mahirap sagutin yun eh.
Hindi mo pinahirapan mo.
Diba?
Ito na lang. Who was the toughest opponent?
Yan.
Who was the toughest one to guard? And who guarded you the toughest?
Oo.
Yun.
Si toughest opponent what's his first name? Si Kahanding?
si referee? Video. Kahanding?
Langit nawa. Si Mr. Kahanding. Romy Kahanding.
Romy, and then Romy.
Ronnie?
I forgot.
Hindi, si Ronnie yung anak. Si Romy Kahanding yata yung tatay. Passed away 2 years ago.
And the toughest opponent?
Toughest opponent.
I would still give that to Abed Gidabed.
Okay.
I would still give that to Abed Gidabed.
Tapos yung dumidepensa sa'yo, kanino ka pinaka-nahirapan na dumipensa sa'yo?
Si Abed Gidabed ka rin.
Ka pa rin, ha? Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Akala ko Philip Cesar na yung kasi sa haba.
Or akala ko baka Chito Loizaga.
Because sa height ni Abed kasi, magkasing height, matangkad pa nga siya ng 1 inch sa akin when we started playing. Of course, lahat sila Abed Gidabed, sila Yoyoy Villame, sila Chito Loizaga, sila Victorino, sino pa yung iba. Lalo na pinaka-favorite ko, si Jimmy Javier at saka si kaibigan ko na ngayon. Facebook buddy ko na yun. Si De La Cruz, what's his name?
Si Bong?
Si Bong, okay.
Bong?
Naglaro ng Crispa?
Si Bong.
Si Bong ang Crispa.
Walang ginawa yung mga yun na tuwing the drive ako sa gitna, tama sa noo ang gagawin na sa akin. But those are all, hindi naman malakasan. Yung tirang pang-asar ba? Hindi naman talaga yung totally to basagin yung ilong mo or what. But parang pang-asar ka ba? So,
we need to ask about, we just need to ask about, well, now you are the officer in charge of the Philippine Sports Commission.
Yeah, before we wrap up.
We'd like to ask, well, you're here in Manila now and you're doing the work, no? What does it look like? I know we had you on our show sports page the other day, and then you said nga na you're looking for the vaccine before everything can get back into full swing. But anong status ng sports in general sa Pilipinas and in the commission itself? I know that today there was a controversial, you were interviewed about the payroll padding. Or whatever. I mean, so what's going on? Baka kwento naman anong status.
Well, we're really dependent, lalo na ngayon, nakita naman natin the past days, I think the news that I got was 11 of the biggest hospitals in NCR are almost full already. Some are full already. Tumataas yung cases, no? So, status quo pa talaga yung sports programs. Wala pang mangyayari. Nagplano na kami nila Congressman Bumble ng POC to plan to for the training program of those that have qualified for the Olympics, those that are still trying to qualify, but that will be dependent on the situation, how COVID improves, no? And we have to wait for the IATF to decide on the protocols, no? But is that so? Sa tingin ko, hanggang fourth quarter pa siguro, we're hoping that by September mag-ease down na talaga yan, no? So wala pa. Puro planning pa lang talaga kami.
That's right.
At this point lang, Don Ramon, as we wrap this up, I'm going to welcome some surprise guest into the conversation, into our interview. Napag-usapan natin siya kanina, pero he was gracious enough to wake up early and join us.
Just to say hello.
Just to say hello. We're connecting to audio pa siya.
There he is.
Baka kilala niyo siya, Don Ramon. His name is Andrew Fields.
This is Andy Fields.
Andres Bukid! How are you, buddy?
I'm good, Ramon. How you doing, man? You good?
Oh, I'm good too, man. You haven't chatted with me on Facebook lately, huh?
Yeah, man. I've been kind of busy. We dealing with this virus stuff, all that kind of stuff. Working.
Where are you based right now?
I'm in New Jersey, Atlantic City, my home city.
Oh, okay. It was pretty bad there, huh?
Yeah, well, Jersey, all along the coast got bad. I mean, well, now it's all down to the southern part of the
This is
United
really a
States.
surprise, man.
Yeah.
Really a surprise. Nice to see you. You're so handsome, like before.
Welcome to the show, Andy.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Andy.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for visiting
Andy.
today.
Yeah, Andy. What are your fondest memories playing with Ramon in your time in the PBA?
Oh well,
Can you still remember?
Yeah, it was man, I enjoyed every moment of it. I mean, like when you're playing, when you're going somewhere to play, and let's just put it this way. We as Americans, we think that we know the game better than anyone. But when I travel now and starting in the Philippines to see players that were talented as well, it just gives you a whole different perspective of how the world have progressed in learning the game and knowing how to play. And and Ramon had tricks about it. He had some good stuff that that really even helped me. And of course we had to stay out.
What tricks did you possibly learn?
Well, you had to stay out of the way of his elbows. Had to make sure
That's what Fitz Gaston said the other day. That's what Fitz Gaston said. Stay away from the elbows.
Yeah, you had to stay out of the way for real. But
that's the only weapon I have. I'm so skinny, so I've got to have some injections, viral injections.
Well, should we, tell everybody already, guys?
Yeah, this is also the reason why.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag already. We said it was a Toyota Grand Slam. We had Emer Legaspi. When you say Grand Slam, it's 3 in a row. That's with Emer Legaspi. We have Mon Fernandez tonight. And Andy Fields will be joining us on Friday, 8 a.m. Manila time. And he will be here to talk about his entire experience with Toyota and then here in the PBA. And we're looking forward to that, Andy. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on board.
Yeah,
thank you for gracing us also. Don Ramon,
remind me guys of that day, huh? So I'll be...
Yes, I will.
Yes, Don Ramon. What do you have to say to Andy right now before we wrap up the show, Don Ramon?
Yes?
Well, what do you have to say to Andy before we wrap up the show?
Nice seeing you again, buddy. As I said earlier with you guys, we chat every now and then, although it was very seldom, but I know he was okay. So I'm glad to see you healthy, Andy.
I appreciate
So
it as
stay
well.
safe, buddy. Stay
Thank
away
you.
from
Thank you.
that virus, man. So stay home.
That's right. That's right.
Are you staying home?
Right. Yeah, working from home. My
Good,
at least
good,
my
good,
job
good.
from Midstat, so that's a good thing.
Let's keep it that way then.
Yep,
You know, we
for
need
sure.
to
All right,
It's good
buddy.
to see you, man.
Yeah,
Good
nice
seeing you.
we
nice
need to
seeing
ask
you
guys
again
one
too,
more
buddy.
question.
Yeah,
There's,
go ahead.
there's a question that everyone's asking. A lot of people are asking, how tall are you now, Don Ramon? Because people said you're
The
growing.
last time I measured myself was 6'7".
Okay.
Wow.
See, Andy, he's still growing. He's about to reach
Yeah,
your height already.
right.
You remember of course Norman Black, Andy?
Of course.
Yeah, because Norman was 6'5", I was 6'4" then. He was
Mhm.
taller than me a little bit.
Right.
The last time I was already retired, he was already a coach. We saw each other in Cebu. He went there to play and he went to our restaurant. And when we
Okay.
stood up beside each other, I was already taller than him. So
Wow.
he was really surprised. He was saying,
Growing boy.
hey Mon.
So that's why you say you 6'7", huh?
I said, did you grow or did I shrink? But anyway, buddy, nice seeing you again. Hope to see you more often.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, alam nyo, when we have an eternity of basketball, we wish we had an eternity to talk to everybody. But unfortunately, we are out of time already for this episode. We would like to thank
Part 2.
Don
We have to have a
Ramon
part 2.
Fernandez. We will take a part 2 for sure.
Please.
for
Marami
Don
pang
Ramon.
pwede pag-usapan. Ang dami pa.
We barely grazed the iceberg on Don Ramon Fernandez's excellent career. Don Ramon, before we let you go, are there any people that you want to say hello to and you want to greet before we let you go?
How's that? Sorry, you mean, how's that, Noel?
Is there anybody you want to greet? You want to say hello to before we end this episode?
Of course, our friends in Cebu. Oh, what happened?
No, go ahead. You can still hear you.
There.
Okay.
Okay.
I went low, but anyway, so I just greet our friends there in the States, our friends in Cebu, from all over. Of course, my wife, I have to greet her. She's in front of me.
Hello, Ma'am Carla. Hello, Carla.
And
Hi.
who else? Nobody special. I won't mention a name because baka sumama ang loob ng mga hindi ko mention eh.
Great.
Pag hindi ko na-mention yung wife ko, mas kawawa ako. Papaluin ako ng kaldero.
Hello, ma'am.
I was telling him, Andy,
Again.
I had to greet only my wife. Otherwise, she'll hit me with a frying pan if I don't.
Well, we will have Andy Fields this coming Friday. That's at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And we'd like to thank, of course, Don Ramon. Kailangan may part 2 ito, Don Ramon. Bitin na bitin.
My idol, Don Ramon.
Yeah.
Don Ramon Fernandez.
Andy,
Yes.
would you like to invite our viewers to your guesting on
You're
Friday?
guesting on Friday.
Oh yeah, well, I first of all, I appreciate you guys for having me, and it's of course through technology that's all this is possible, and I look forward to answering all the questions and the experiences that I had in the Philippines, because it was a great time in my career. It was, it's something I'll always remember. So, and I was good to be playing with. It was good to play with a good organization like Toyota, because they were a top-notch organization and players as well. So
We're
I
looking
look
forward to
forward to
having
that.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're all looking forward
Thank
to that.
Don
Of course,
Ramon,
that
maraming
is coming
salamat.
Friday,
Salamat.
Thank you.
Bossing.
Yep, salamat Don
Thank you,
Ramon
thank you.
for gracing
Thank you,
us.
guys. Bye-bye.
That's it for
All right.
Eternity of Basketball for today. For Sid Ventura, Charlie Cuna, our special guest, Don Ramon Fernandez, and our guest this coming Friday, Mr. Andy Fields. My name is Noel Zarate. We'll see you this Friday for another edition of An Eternity of Basketball. Paalam, guys.
Goodbye.
Stay safe.
Okay, buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Have
you.
a good time. Thank you.